So every week on Tuesday, Li Auto releases the weekly insurance registrations as a list. And of course, that's where you get the weekly insurance registration numbers for NIO. This week, NIO didn't make the list. Holy crap. I was just dumbfounded. So it turns out NIO had 1,900 for the NIO brand, and Onvo had 1,100 for the Onvo brand. So together, that's 3,000 insurance registrations last week. That is notably down from 4,900 the week before. So pretty significant drop. All right, what's going on here? And it seems like, even though this is kind of early, right now it's just March 11th, it's kind of early to say, but the prospect of Onvo achieving 20,000 deliveries by itself seems slimmer and slimmer every day. So what's going wrong? So what's going on and what's going wrong? And hey, well, maybe good news is bad news and bad news is good news. The stock is up in pre-market, Yeah. Perhaps people finally gotten in the information that there's big subsidy for NIO by the government. Very cool. And they're bullish. But, of course, we need to talk about Onvo. Man, it is safe to say that the hype for Onvo has cooled off a little bit, all right? I wouldn't say there's no hype for Onvo at all. It's definitely cooled off quite a lot. All right, not just a little bit, quite a lot. And if you think about the pace of everything, they unveiled this car in May of last year, right? That's when they first unveiled it. And then finally, like just recently, they're able to ramp up production of the car for it to be delivered. And well, I mean, to me, that's a pretty long period of time. I mean, even though delivery started in September, that's still a very long period of time. I mean, like, they're talking about almost a year, right? So 10 months between unveiling the car to ramp up in production. And, during this whole period of time, the hype, how long can you sustain that hype, right? And of course, new competitors coming out, new Model Y. People are hyped about the Xiaomi YU7. There's a bunch of other cars with other brands as well. So it's hard to sustain the hype if it's going to take so long to get the car to customers. But what else is going on? So clearly, a lot of the earlier orders have been, eaten up, basically. So there isn't a huge backlog or a lot of pre-orders and that kind of stuff. Those pre-orders and backlog, they've been delivered. When they said orders were exploding, they meant 30,000-ish orders. And, of course, right now there are 30,000 Onvos on the road. And just today I actually saw 2-3 Onvos, and these are like with license plates, and these are just normal regular customers with their car. So you do see Onvos on the road, okay? But right now they're just trying to sell the car like any normal company, right? There's no significant backlog. And it all comes down to marketing. Once again, marketing. And I really have to point out the argument that, a few videos ago, we talked about how a sort of like a whistleblower, an Onvo employee sort of revealed why things were the way they were, and they kind of blamed marketing. And I kind of have to go on that boat as well, because I'm not exactly blaming marketing. I think marketing right now is too hard to understand for potential Onvo buyers, okay? So we got to go back to that Onvo ad again. And this is pretty important because throughout this whole entire Onvo ad, which you're seeing like everywhere, okay? Almost every single elevator, well, for me personally, a lot of elevators, and then like you just randomly outside, these big posters, very, very cool. But if you pay attention, it says NIO all the time, everywhere. This is a NIO sub-brand, which is very good that they said that. It uses NIO service, it uses NIO swap stations, it uses NIO's 12 core technologies. But you got to think from a layman's perspective, a normal person's perspective. What if a person doesn't even know what NIO is? It's a sub-brand of NIO. Okay, I don't even know what NIO is. Or it uses NIO's 12 core technologies, which is what exactly? What is the 12 core technologies? If I go into an Onvo store right now and I tell them, hey, I saw an ad that says you guys use NIO's 12 core technologies. What are those 12 core technologies? Will they be able to list all 12 of those 12 core technologies? Probably not, okay? They probably might be able to list 6 or 7, right? It's very vague. What is the 12 core technologies? And even if the sales rep was able to say 12 core technologies, if I go to a different Onvo store and ask the sales rep the same question, will they say the same 12 things as their 12 core technologies? Okay? So, what am I saying? It's too hard to understand, right? The ad is too hard to understand. 12 core technologies, what are they? What are those 12 core technologies? Also, uses NIO's service. NIO's service centers. What? For a person that doesn't know NIO has great service, or doesn't really understand that NIO, is known for their service, like that means absolutely nothing, right? That means absolutely nothing if you don't really fully understand that, and you're using their service centers, you're using NIO service centers, but what does that mean? That just means that, yeah, there's somewhere to repair the car, right? Of course, every car has a place to repair the car, right? So once again, very, very vague. I like the fact that they're mentioning NIO all the time, right? Saying that they're associated with NIO and all that stuff. But I don't think they're really conveying the message. But you're asking, hey, Mr. P, what would you do differently? That's the big question, all right? How would I do things? I know, obviously, I'm not the CEO. I'm not head of marketing. I have no affiliation with NIO except for the fact that I own their car and I really like the company. And I make videos about them. What would I do? So, I would definitely take a page out of what BYD is doing. BYD, their ads says we're the number 1 bestseller in 2024. This is the number 1 best-selling sedan, What are those? Those are accolades. Those are things that people can understand and have place a value in their mind. Like, oh, this is a very hot-selling car. 12 core technologies, like, I'm sure there's another company that has 13 core technologies or 15 core technologies or 20 core technologies. Has that any significance? No, right? So, but NIO has so many accolades, right? The German Golden Steering Wheel Award, like, how many companies get that? Nobody gets that, all right? Not many companies get that. EU NCAP plastered that on the ad, even though that's NIO, and technically that would be like for a NIO ad and not exactly an Onvo ad, but you get the point. NIO has so many accolades that they don't talk about. It's like you're the heavyweight champion of the world, but you don't want people to know that you're the heavyweight champion of the world, right? You gotta show off a little bit. You gotta be able to let people know that your technology is well recognized, not only by consumers, but also by like the Germans and those guys that certify these kind of awards, right? NIO's cars won multiple best Car of the Year awards. Like, how come that's never shown on a poster or an ad or even in the store ever? You know, I understand they don't want that differentiation. Like, oh, the ET7 won the Golden Steering Wheel Award, but this car didn't. And there's kind of going to be a bias towards that car. Screw that. All right? You got a very prestigious award, and you're trying to hide it because you're worried that people might not buy the other car. Plaster it on their cars. When I went to a Zeekr store, the Zeekr 001 on the back, there's clear a little sticker that says 5-star EU NCAP, like certified, basically. NIO has the same 5-star EU NCAP, but I never see anything like that on their cars. They never have any sort of stickers like those on their cars. It's very frustrating. It's like you have a great product, but you don't want people to know that it's great. How are you going to sell cars, guys? Right? So, but this is just me ranting, right? Hopefully, things will turn around, but it looks more and more bleak. It seems like 20,000 will not be achieved by Onvo, okay? Maybe we can get 20,000 combined, NIO and Onvo together, but we'll see, we'll see. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.